Welcome everybody to another episode of Scaranoia. It is I, Hugz, and I am here with Jared and Chris, back with another banger episode. I say it every time; it's because I mean it every time. Today's one that we've talked about personally, but we've gotten a lot of requests for it recently too, which is horror games. So we're going to be talking some of our favorites, some of the best, and maybe some of the not so best horror games that we've played, just experiences we've had. We've actually played a lot of them long before we ever talked about doing this. We used to play Dead by Daylight and some
Oh
other stuff
yeah,
together.
we
But
were playing like Dead by Daylight in the wee hours. Like we
Yeah,
would stay up late grinding that out.
I don't want to
but
admit to how many hours I've played Dead by Daylight, but
He's like
enough.
master class ranked in that. Let's just say that.
Enough. Jared, what's your favorite horror game?
so I feel like horror games come in two different ways. There's either the story-based horror or like the survivor-based horror. I feel like you can't put the two like as one. So my favorite
Yeah,
survivor-based horror has to be Dead by Daylight. Like there's nothing better, right? Dead by Daylight's the ultimate survival horror game. Like it has everything in it. It has Ghostface, it has fucking Hellraiser, has the fucking Xenomorph. It's
it's
got
got
every
Jared's favorite serial killer, Michael Myers.
quit yapping for a
And
minute.
Bubba. Leatherface as well. Yeah, Texas Chainsaw Massacre and
Yeah, dude.
Halloween.
Damn. Nope.
No,
Okay.
I
All
hate
Jared's
both of those.
favorites.
But
Anyways,
then,
Jared,
uh,
keep cooking.
and then a story based is the Quarry. The Quarry
Ooh.
slaps so fucking hard, man. Like, oh, it's so good, man. Like, thanks, Crispy really is the one that got me into it. Like, I heard about it before, but then I saw it was on Game Pass, and I was telling Crispy some of the games are coming to the Game Pass. He said I would love the Quarry, and I checked it out, and like,
What is the gameplay like? Give me like a synopsis.
So the game is basically a group of like camp counselors that it's the last day of camp. They're all supposed to be leaving, but the truck breaks down, so they have to stay at the camp one more night. However, they have to like stay inside, right? And the main like guy who runs the camp, he's the sheriff, and he's like, "You guys stay inside. I have to go to town." He wouldn't tell them why, but the whole premise is that there's like a family of like werewolves, something along those lines. And the game is really cool because um, it's very story based, right? Decisions matter kind of game where like the choices you make, you decide who lives, who dies. You get like three retries entirely for the game if you want to save a character, but they're not going to tell you how to save the character. You just have to hope to God you get it. And there's so many different routes you can go with it. It's He stole my answer. That's like I love that game. Like you said, I put a lot to it, but yeah, and it's very cutscene based. Like it's very heavy on the cutscenes.
I was gonna say, is
And
it like Last of Us or like the Telltale games where it's like you select something and then it's like a
yeah,
mm,
yeah, yeah, yeah. The main like gameplay that you're doing, it's either walking and kind of looking around and interacting with stuff, but overall the gameplay itself that is most probably is the choices in the cutscenes. Do you do this? Do you do that? Kind of deal.
and
have you guys ever go ahead.
it's got such a star-studded cast as well. Like the voice acting's really good. Like David Arquette is in
Yep.
it. Justice Smith is in it. Both of their character designs look like
Brenda's
identical.
song, bro. That
Oh
was
yeah,
what
Brenda
sold
Song's is
me.
in
I
it
love
too.
Brenda's song. And then the one chick from Modern Family, I don't remember her name, but she was the nerdy sister.
Oh,
Errol
I don't know
Wintle.
her.
Ariel Winter, yeah. Yeah, she's in
Yeah.
it.
Have you guys ever played The Forest, or do you know what that is?
Uh-uh.
Mm-mm.
So it was like this really creepy like survival game. So I'm big into like, and these can be considered horror too because it's like zombie survival. Zombie survival is like a huge genre. Like I play 7 Days to Die. I used to play H1Z1 before they turned it into a battle royale and then it fell off. But The Force is kind of like a really dark survival game. I don't know another way to explain it than that. But it was the first time I've never played it. I've only watched people play it on Twitch.
Okay.
And because I love the survival genre though, but like I saw people like crafting food and doing stuff like that, but it's very like just horror themed and it seemed like very, very creepy, like you have to go out at night and stuff like that. And even the music sounded kind of creepy. But when I'm thinking survival games, because you talked about survival story, 7 Days to Die is my favorite zombie survival game. I absolutely love it. Like the official version finally came out, but I've been playing 7 Days to Die forever, and I've played all the different modes. And the thing that's crazy to me is the difference in like the ones that actually scare me or not. So 7 Days to Die frightens the shit out of me sometimes. Sometimes it's the AI is ridiculous in it and like the
Yeah.
character or the creatures like don't navigate properly. Other times I walk into a building and like out of nowhere I'm just surrounded by zombies. I'm like literally screaming like a child.
Yeah. No, yeah, that one's okay. So now this one's not really a horror game, right? But I feel like there's some elements that could make it more of like a psychological thriller horror. Call me crazy, okay? But I believe that
Crazy.
I believe that Life is Strange is very much like a psychological thriller game, with it being also now my favorite kind of games are choices matter games, decisions, all that, and just the elements of like being able to like rewind time to try to correct something or do something right or but at the same time you're dealing with like in one part you've got to try to save a girl from jumping off of a fucking building. You've got to navigate this creepy pedophilic teacher and stuff while also trying to save your but like it's crazy. But like I would say that I would classify that as like a psychological thriller slash
So
horror
it's like
game.
creepy, psychologically creepy.
Yeah.
What about you, Jared? What else you got in the chamber?
Dude, a game that really just talking about it makes me upset. It's ending this year. The servers are shutting down. The lawsuit that happened absolutely ruined any type of updates for this game. But I remember playing it release night, Friday the 13th, the game. Oh man, it was so fun.
That's ending.
It just upsets me that we never got the game to be able to like fully get upgraded and stuff because of the lawsuit that Friday the 13th had. But there's so much stuff to do on there. Like it's a survival game, kind of like
It's like Dead by Daylight.
Dead
Yeah,
by
it's
Daylight. But
asymmetrical. Yeah.
I feel like
but there's more to do.
yeah.
Well, you like
But
collect
my favorite
pieces
thing to
or whatever,
do.
right? And then you like defeat him or something.
Yeah.
You
You
gotta
can
board
defeat
up the
them.
doors and windows. You could find weapons, and the whole point is to like.
Yeah, they had Tommy Jarvis in there, where you could steal the mom's head and put it on and kill him. Also, the funnest thing in the Friday the 13th game by far was the virtual cabin. As someone that is like a pretty big Friday the 13th fan, there are so many Easter eggs in that. Like, to complete the virtual cabin, you have to truly know stuff about the series. I think that was just a fun callback to fans, that have supported that franchise for so long.
All I'm saying is local chat, like voice chat, ruined that game for me. I played it all of like 4 times and it was like being in a COD lobby. Like it was just not a good time. Like this is what I was talking about, those games that actually scare you versus not, because having that communication, like having the voice chat, it more frustrated me than anything. And people normally didn't want to work together. What I love about Dead by Daylight is there is no chat. If you're not in a group, if you're not surviving with friends, now they've changed the game a lot. So there's like visual cues and a lot of things that tell you like, oh, people are working on gens or they're doing different things. Before it wasn't like that. Before it was very much if you're not in a group of people, you have no idea what is occurring.
Yeah.
You have no idea where the killer is. You have no idea if people are working on things. And I really enjoyed that much more because I don't want to be handheld. It's a horror game. I want to be kind of scared and kind of not know what's going on.
Yeah.
And so I do want to talk about this a little bit more because the Friday the 13th game I did play. Of course, I'm an avid Dead by Daylight player, so it's kind of the enemy game to me. But now, do we think that we're going to get Jason in Dead by Daylight? That's what I'm curious of. Because that was the big thing keeping him up was the licensing.
The lawsuit just ended last year. They have the Jason verse now. He's getting a Fortnite skin, or he might have already got one. I quit playing Fortnite for a bit. I know he's in Metaverse now.
Michael Myers got
They're
one. I
creating
don't
a
think
TV.
Jason got one yet.
Well, I know he's
Okay,
supposed
yeah.
to, whatever. Anyway. And Dead by Daylight is something that they want to work on getting him in, just because like that's like the holy grail of everything. I did hear that he is in the cards for Dead by
Bro, could you
Daylight.
imagine you get like hockey mask Jason, potato sack head Jason? Like, there's so many variants and stuff that they could do, but like, you know how most of the killers come with survivors. So, what would Jason's survivors be?
They kind of stopped doing
Tommy
that though.
Jarvis.
Oh,
They
did
kind of
they?
stopped doing that for
It's
the
been
most
forever
part.
since I
Some of them
played.
do, some of them don't. Because like Ghostface came alone. Ghostface had no survivor
Oh,
for
that's
him.
right. Yeah.
But it's because Ghostface is its own license. It wasn't the
Okay.
Scream license. Like the dude that like does Ghostface character, he owns a license to Ghostface.
That's fucking smart. He's probably making millions of dollars right now. Like,
Don't know, but I mean, it is a good business practice. But what I think is cool about Dead by Daylight, though, is how it's kind of merged all these universes together. You have Leatherface, you have Michael Myers, you have Pinhead. You know,
Freddy,
you have all these other characters within the
Chucky,
game.
Chucky
Yeah.
now too.
the Xenomorph,
Chucky's in Dead by
Yep.
Daylight now
Well, and they
too.
just got
Wesker.
what is it? The vampire dude from Castlevania or whatever.
I have
Forget
no
what it's
clue.
called.
I've not played Dead by Daylight in months, brother.
We might need to do that just in honor of this episode. Just oh well, Jared, you can't. It's not Game Pass.
Sadness. Oh, is it not on Game Pass?
It's on Game Pass. He just doesn't have Game Pass right now, so we'll have to get you Game Pass,
Oh,
Jared.
wow. We'll get you set up. We'll get you set up, man. Way to flex on them. Have you
What's
guys
the-
played any of these other like super scary games like Fear or Phasmophobia, anything like that? Because I watch a lot of these on Twitch. I watch.
I was
people
gonna
walking
say
through
I've seen
Yeah,
a
I've
lot of
seen Twitch
yeah I've
streams
seen a
of
lot
it.
of Twitch streams, especially of Phasmophobia, but I've never played it. But it looks interesting. I don't know.
What about Resident Evil? Have you guys ever got into? Because that's a huge in the horror scene.
Yeah.
I played early Resident Evil back on like the PS1, PS2 and stuff. Like I played a lot then, but as they as I evolved with the systems, I didn't really continue. But I kind of wish I would have. Like I'd be curious to see what it's like now with everything upgraded and shit.
Well, and also Nemesis and Wesker also in Dead by Daylight.
There's like a couple that like have came out that I really wanted to check out, but like I feel like I don't know, like the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, like they came out with their own game.
That game's pretty good, but it got redundant really quickly.
Yeah, that's what I had heard, so it kind of steered me away. And then Killer,
They made a Kill
I,
Clowns from Outer
yep,
Space game too. I really want
that's
to
what I was
play.
just gonna say, like that one. But like that was another one where people were so hyped for it right away, and then it just died out, and it just kind of like turned me off. Where I'm like, is
Dude,
it?
I'm so tired of the Dead by Daylight style horror games, man. I want there to be like a horror story game to come out with like one of these big like uh horror icons, and I think the best one right now, the best person to have a horror game come out to have a story would be Art the Clown. I just feel like there's a lot of story that you could have with their Art the Clown would be perfect, or Jigsaw. I think a Saw game, which I think there is a Saw game actually that came out on the Xbox 360. I've never played it, but I've never seen a YouTube video about it.
I think Art the Clown would be interesting. I love asymmetrical horror. So asymmetrical horror being one killer, multiple survivors. Now in Dead by Daylight, they have 2v8 where you can do the 2 killers, 8 survivors. It's like a modified gameplay type of thing. But my predominant like gameplay, most of what my hours in games are in are Dead by Daylight or things that are 7 Days to Die or like 7 Days to Die. Zombie survival has been one of my biggest games that I've ever played. But speaking of how they kind of have switched things up. I used to play this game H1Z1, and then that turned into basically Fortnite because they had a battle royale. This is before Fortnite. They had a battle royale version of it, and then that took completely over, and then they shut down all of the servers for H1Z1, like the actual survival game. So it reminded me of that when you were talking about them shutting down the Friday the 13th stuff because battle royale killed my favorite game.
It's like I love you, Fortnite, but I hate you.
Well, it was, it was like the OG one. And the cool thing was I did play the Battle Royale, so I can't, whatever. But you would win a shirt. So instead of the umbrellas, like you got a shirt. And then it was a whole thing. It was like winner, winner, chicken dinner when you'd win instead of like Victory Royale. And I was like, that's cool.
I think another really cool like character to implement like a horror movie story game around and like it'd be interesting to see how they could do it. But I think a Scream game where you can choose to like be a member. Hear me out, Jared, before you shrug it off, okay? You choose either side where you want to play a story as one of the people and you try to survive and you try to figure it out who it is, or you play it as Ghostface, right? And you got to hide in plain sight and you got to navigate your way around, being conspicuous while also killing people and not getting caught.
That would just be called Scream 6, and Scream 6 is trash.
All right, Jared, I'm going to commit in the year 2025 to watch every Scream movie.
I stopped after 4.
I'm going to get caught up. I'm going to start in January. I'm going to start and I'm going to watch them. I'm going to knock out at least one a week. And I'll get caught up just for you so I can be on game. And then maybe I'll even watch a TV show.
The TV show fucking rips.
Would you
man.
recommend watching that first?
But no, after. Did you ever play the Left 4 Dead series?
Yes.
Like,
I loved Left 4 Dead.
I played a little bit
Left 4 Dead,
of
man.
like I think it was 4. Is that it? It was like free on PlayStation or something, so I tried it
Well,
out.
that's just the number because it's Left 4 Dead,
Oh.
and that's so the 4 is Left 4 Dead. Like that was like it was like a hand and whatever. There was supposed to be a second one, but I don't think it ever came out. I think they had talked about doing a Left 4 Dead 2.
Yeah, I don't.
Well, I played
Yeah.
Left 4
So
Dead.
if you played the fourth one, damn, bro, Mandela effect.
Yeah, like
Piece
shit.
of shit, bro.
I missed them out.
William Overbeck or whatever.
That's my favorite zombie
Well,
game.
he's also in Dead by Daylight. Bill from Left 4 Dead is in Dead by Daylight.
True.
But yeah, so Left 4 Dead had a huge community in it as well. The thing that I like about that, there's a pros and cons. It was a very arcadey zombie survival game. That's the best way to explain it.
And it's very customizable too.
There was one that I played. I can't remember what it was called. I don't know if it was like Day Zero or something.
Daisy. Daisy's
Daisy.
like Daisy's
Daisy,
like a
yeah.
zombie survival type thing.
Yeah. That one I played. I played a little bit and I got really into it, and then like I just stopped, and I don't remember why I never picked it back up. But there's days where I think about that because I'll never forget. Like I kept seeing before it was released, like this clip going around social media and stuff of this dude just fucking going all over this area, fighting off these hordes of zombies, and he's climbing buildings and going upstairs, and he's using different weapons, and it was crazy. It looked really realistic, and I'm like, I want to play that game. And then it's like it was on sale for like $10, and I bought it, and I'm like, I haven't touched it.
I feel like
Another fun zombie game, Dead
I
Island.
never played Dead Island. Oh, no, hold on. Is that the one? Or am I thinking Dead Rising? What is the one where you can make your own weapons?
You think
And it was like a comedy kind of game. Is
Dead
that
Island.
what it is? I'm trying to think if that's what it is or not.
Yeah, Dead Island has custom
Well, this
weapons.
was like,
I used to get modded.
there was
weapons.
like all kinds of one. Like you could take like a chainsaw and you could like combine it with something else and like make another weapon. I want to say it was Dead Rising though. I need to mute my thing because I'm about to be typing.
I have Dead Rising, but I've never played it.
Yeah, I haven't played either of those.
Yeah,
But,
it's
like-
Dead Rising because I'm pretty sure.
My footage is.
I'm looking into this.
But Dead Island is fun too, though. Like you have a lot of customization. I was playing Dead Island 2 heavy for a bit a couple months ago, but never finished it. I need to go back and finish it for sure.
One that I really need to get back into, like, playing through that again, another one. I have a habit of starting so many of these story games and just not finishing them was Until Dawn. I really liked the, like, style of story that was. Very similar to kind of the Quarry, I believe, where it was like a camp counselor thing, or I don't.
It's Dead Rising, and I just looked it up because there's a very specific thing. There's a thing where you shoot personal massagers out of a leaf blower. So you're essentially shooting sex toys out of a leaf blower at zombies to shoot them. It's like a comedic like zombie killer game. It's Dead Rising. I have played this.
Personal massagers out of a leaf blower. Okay.
It was actually hilarious. So have you guys ever played Saints Row?
Oh yeah.
It's very like Saints Row, but
Hmm.
like zombie survival. But it's not like survival. It's
That's
like a zombie shooter, like whatever.
okay.
Dead
I
Rising.
love Saints Row, man. Not a horror game, but
But that's
it's
what
a
I'm saying.
different
If you
game.
love Saints Row, you would like Dead Rising. That is my opinion. I think it's made by Capcom. Like it's like a, but yeah, Dead Rising, Dead Island. I never played.
Dead Island Rift, man. You gotta play it one
I
day.
have to check it out. All right, sorry about that, Crispy, but yeah, I was looking that up because I was like, I didn't want to start talking about the types of weapons you could make until I found the game, but I'm like,
So you Google what zombie survival
I
game could you
literally,
shoot out?
I
Six
literally
ways.
Googled dildo gun zombie zombie survival.
How about Silent Hill, guys?
Jared's like, can we move on from the
Bro,
dildos?
bro, like, well, Jared's also not a big like comedy horror person unless it's scary movie. So
Cabin in the Woods and No
is
Good
Cabin
versus Evil, but
is
the
Cabin
rest
in the Woods
we
comedy
try.
though? You think
He's
so?
like, I found it
Yes.
funny.
I'm trying to think back. I loved Cabin in the Woods because I love the end. I love the reveal and I love all that stuff. I love all the different characters in it. But I'm trying to think of like the comedic part of it. Dale, whatever was it? Dale and Tucker versus Evil.
Tucker and Dale versus Evil.
Tucker and Dale versus Evil.
Zombie Land.
I just know Jared loves everybody named Dale in general. So
You picked the one time he has to be
Delphi.
professional to say
Dale
that.
Dale Earnhardt. That's what I'm talking about.
Dude, my nephew has a Dale Earnhardt shirt, Dale Earnhardt Jr. shirt hanging up right over here. That's too
Okay,
funny.
we're off the rails. Silent Hill. Back to Silent Hill. Sorry, Jared. Continue.
Silent Hill is overrated.
I've never
The
played
movies
it.
are the
I've
hold on.
never
The
It's
played
not
movie
it,
or
so
the
I
fun.
don't
game?
know.
Both people overrate
Game
both
Head
of
is
them
pretty
so
good.
much. I hate. I do say I do enjoy the games better than the movies, but still, I'm just not a fan. Not a fan of them,
I will
man.
say
I've tried multiple times to play it, and I just do not like it. I can't get
very
into it.
few movies have left me like where I think about them after the fact. And whenever there's a ton of fog, I live in an area that gets a lot of fog. Whenever there's a ton of fog, I think of Silent Hill.
For sure. I mean, I
I
do
was gonna
too,
say I'm
but
pretty.
still doesn't mean it's a good
I've
movie
thought that way
or a
before, and
good
I've
game.
never played the game or seen it. But I always hear people referencing fog, like heavy fog, like Silent Hill. So that's always the first thing that comes to mind. But I've never seen the movies. I've never played the game. So
Hey man, if there's a lot of fog and you start to hear a siren, just saying, watch out.
good to know.
Jude, what are the games like story games or what kind of for Silent Hill?
They're like a campaign, almost in the vein of like not more story based, not like cutscenes. It's more like Call of Duty campaign, but not Call of Duty. You know what I mean? It's like a more like a campaign type story that's more like a lot of moving parts, and it's just boring, man. Like it takes forever to get anything good going.
That's I could get why that would be frustrating because I feel like I don't know. As I've said, I'm a big story based person, so like that's why like the Quarry when I played that minus the the cut. I just want to. I'm gonna jump back real quick, okay? The cut scenes in the Quarry are so long that I bought the the highest edition or whatever that you could get of it, and there is a movie version of it where you could get like different levels of like everybody dies, everybody survives, ultimate blood massacre version. There's so many cutscenes that they just combine all the cutscenes to make a movie of the game. It's
And it's like an hour and a
dude.
half almost. Like it's a full length movie.
That end credits too. The end credits in the Quarry you cannot skip. It is the most obnoxious thing. It adds to the story a little bit because it's like a podcast thing that like updates what happened after the game. But the credits are I'm not kidding when I say this number. I'm pretty sure we clocked them at like 45 minutes. And you cannot skip through, you cannot fast forward, you have to sit there and let them scroll. I don't know why. I don't get it.
You don't get the
Oh,
achievement
that's right.
if you
Yeah,
don't.
yeah, yeah. You
Like if
get an
you're an
achievement, but even
achievement,
when you got the achievement, like you still can. Well, I haven't played through a second time on my PS5, so I wouldn't know. But yeah,
I'm not sitting through 45 minutes of credits anywhere. So
I'm an achievement
I
hunter,
just
so I
pulled
will.
this up just because I didn't want to miss out on anything in case we forgot to talk about anything. So I pulled up some of the top grossing horror games. So of course we talked Resident Evil. Outlast is another one that I've seen a lot of people play.
They're making an Outlast game. I mean, an
Are
Outlast
they
movie
really?
this year.
Oh wow.
I've never played the game,
So
so I
Outlast
don't.
is another one I've watched people stream. So a lot of the horror games I don't play just because I'm not a big, I don't know, it messes with me. I'm gonna have a heart attack, so I just watch other people do it.
Dude, a game that we haven't talked about that I fucking love. I've not played the second one, but I love The Evil Within. The Evil Within goes so hard,
Okay,
man.
can you give us a synopsis?
So it's kind of like it's like a vampire-ish hunter type, like medieval times game, and it's so good. I don't know how to explain it without giving like the main plot point away in it, because there is one thing that happens in the beginning that's definitely a spoiler for the campaign, and it kind of just like changes. You think it could go one way, like you think you go into it knowing it's one thing, but as soon as that happens, it goes in an entirely different direction. So I can't really say it without giving it away.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Until Dawn. That's another one I see a ton of people playing. I've never
yeah.
played that.
Until
That's
Dawn's
that's
fun.
the
I've
one
played
that
it a
like
couple
I
times. Also,
literally
getting a
just
movie.
re-downloaded it the other night because I started it on my PS4. Did not carry anything over to my PS5 because I wanted to start fresh. It's kind of like, but at the same time, love it.
Also getting a
It's
movie adaptation next year.
that would be good. Yeah, I'm gonna play that. That one's
Another
coming soon.
so another huge one, Dead Space.
Never played
Dead
Dead
Space is
Space, man.
super popular. I've talked to a few people recently who were just talking about how good Dead Space is. But it's another survival horror shooter. And then one that I did play, it's kind of creepy. It's more popular. I didn't really think about its horror, but it is really creepy. It did mess with me. Is Bioshock. It's like I think that's a Bethesda game. I'm pretty sure the same people that did
Let's say it sounds
Fallout and
like it,
everything.
like cyberpunk and shit.
Yeah, but I know that was like super creepy for me. But it's like a shooter, you know. I'm trying to look at some of these. Oh, the Walking Dead games. Have you guys ever played any of the Telltale games? I did play the Walking Dead, the first one for the Telltale game.
Yeah, I played one
I played
years
a
and
bunch of
years
different
ago,
like
but
Telltale
I
games,
don't
but
know.
like Batman, um, a couple others. But I've always
Notoriously horror game, Batman by Telltale Games.
I'm just saying
The Walking Dead is
Hold on.
trash.
Okay, first off, we'll come back to that hot take. Second off, Batman is kind of horror coded.
I mean, if
I
you
will
really
say,
look at
It is
it,
to an extent.
yeah.
especially some of the
Uh,
storylines, some of the
Joker
Joker
in
stuff. Yeah.
Joker in 2019 was considered a horror
So that's what I'm
movie,
saying.
actually.
So like there are a lot of horror coded characters and like Scarecrow and stuff like that.
Yeah,
Based off
I was gonna
fear.
say when I think of it like Batman and horror, I think of like Scarecrow, Joker. If you're talking about the more recent Batman movie, The Riddler definitely gave me kind of like horror character vibes because it wasn't some gimmicky comic book character. It
Jigsaw.
was yes, yeah,
The
yeah,
Riddler is
yeah,
Jigsaw.
yeah, exactly. Yes,
Oh no, I don't want
you would
Jared,
Batman.
enjoy
well,
this.
the Riddler easily could get away with just saying, "Do you want to play a game?"
Yeah,
That's all I'm saying.
it was a whole like domestic terrorist route that I fucking loved.
I'm gonna clip just that. I'm gonna clip just Agent Brett. Agent Brett.
Oh no!
Agent Brett.
Agent Brett, get him.
Okay.
No.
Can we get a clip? We got. Okay, we got it. We got it. That's production. I just got word from production that they got a clip on there.
Y'all.
So next week we'll have Taylor Complains back in,
Oh no! He said he was coming for one of our spots.
with special guest Kanye West. making his return. Chicago favorite, Kanye West. I doubt you guys have ever played this. I'm just curious because I've heard a lot about it. Is Alan Wake? Alan Wake also in Dead by Daylight now as a survivor.
I did play. I played the first Alan Wake, but
I
again,
have
it
that in my
was
I have that in my
what
like
2 years
collection.
ago.
I've scrolled past it a million times, but it was something my kids downloaded.
I never completed it. There was a game that was free with games with years ago on Xbox called White Noise. It was a Slender Man ripoff, and it goes so hard, man. I love it
Yeah,
so much.
we're gonna do a whole episode on EVPs and stuff, just because White Noise, like, if you guys have ever seen the movie White Noise, it's not as good as it could have been, but like, it was a whole movie based off of like electronic voice phenomena, and that stuff's creepy. If you go down the EVP rabbit hole of like actual captured voices and stuff people hear, ugh,
You already told a story in a
I
previous
have
episode
gotten
that
some of
chased
my
you out
own.
of your house.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. Looking through, I'm just saying, so the highest grossing horror game out of all the things we've talked about, what do you think the highest grossing series is?
Resident Evil.
Hands
Resident
down,
Evil, yeah.
easily. And I'm not shocked by it. The
No,
2023 remake of Resident Evil 4 sold about 4 million copies in the first 2 weeks.
that's
That's
crazy.
insane.
Jesus fucking Christ, man.
Resident Evil 2 is the best selling horror game on a single platform with about 6 million units sold. Yeah, it's crazy.
That's
Just, since we're looking up games and stuff, I figured it'd be interesting throughout those
that's crazy to
stats.
really think about. Like, I don't know. I feel like Resident Evil very much so because of the legacy of it spanning across like the generations of consoles and shit. 'Cause I remember being a kid and that was like my dad's favorite game to play on like the PS1, like that. And then just like seeing it kind of progress. Like I said, never really got into the newer ones and stuff, but like, God, I feel like I should.
This hopefully this inspires people to get back into their games.
Yes.
What was that, Joe?
Dude, the Resident Evil movies are better than the game.
You
I
think so?
think. Dude, Resident Evil Apocalypse is one of like I love Resident Evil Apocalypse. It's probably one of my top 30 movies of all time, honestly.
Okay. I'm looking to see if there's anything here else that we haven't talked about that I know about. Amnesia, I know, is a very interesting one, but I don't know enough about it to talk about it. But I definitely tell people
Never even
look
heard of
into
it.
that because that was another one that was super interesting. But yeah,
Dude, retro realisms actually dropped a Halloween and Evil Dead game back in October for console. I know for Xbox they did.
like
I don't
the
know about
mixed
PlayStation.
the franchises Halloween and Evil Dead.
No, it was a Halloween game and Evil Dead game. It was two games in one. It's called Retro Realisms. I saw a couple of my buddies on TikTok playing it.
Shout out. Speaking of our buddies on TikTok, I will shout out yet again Taylor Complains, who was on last episode. So shout out if you guys haven't seen that episode, go ahead and check it out. But I want to go ahead and wrap this up just because I think we're out of games. I feel
Yeah.
like we've run the gamut. We knew this was gonna be a little bit of a shorter episode, but this is something that y'all have been asking for. We wanted to go through it. Each of us has a little bit different experience with our horror game background here. But if you could take one thing out of this from me, play Dead by Daylight. Please do it.
Yes.
And if you are doing it, let us know in the comments.
Oh, yeah, and the
Wasn't-
quarry. Make sure you play the quarry.
Yeah. Well, Dead by Daylight though, you can play with us. So if you
This
jump
is
on,
true.
maybe we can get something going. Maybe we'll get some customs going. I promise. I'll take it easy on everybody.
Oh my! Why did we not talk about that before we go? I want to let the viewers know at home. Okay, we used to have a big group that would play, and we would rotate killers. And sometimes people would get the victory. Sometimes, you or me, and you would suck and not even hook a single person. But if you played with this man, I don't know what side of me he is on, but Hugz is the sweatiest, most annoying killer there is. You will not get a generator done. I don't care how good you think you are, but you will not get shit done. There's no survival.
So sorry.
If you get a generator done, count that as a win. That's all I wanted to say. I'm good.
What did Jeff say? Jeff was like, "Who even has fun when we play with Hugz?" And that just hurt my feelings. It just hurt, I'm just out here trying to have fun, trying
It's
to
fun
scare
for
people.
him, not for us.
I played killers I'm not even good at, so sorry. What's up, Jared? Do you have anything to add to the end of this? You want to shade me some more for?
Yes. Two things. One, I became a pretty good killer at the end. You haven't seen me in a long time. Play it in a
Is
long
Yes.
this a
time.
challenge? Is this the official
And
challenge
also,
right here? Okay.
maybe I'll get Game Pass back and we'll have a
A
little
duel,
duel.
a 1v1.
And also,
Yeah, we can. People do it. People do it.
okay. And also, our Discord is now open, guys. Definitely join the Discord.
Watchviewcount.com/Discord. Easiest way to join. Check our bios for links to the YouTube and
You
things
can
like
interact
that.
with us.
Scaranoia Pod, View Count forever, View Count for eternity. We have a ton of other podcasts that are up, but hopefully you are always watching every single week. Scaranoia dropping on Thursday. Thank you for joining us on this one. We'll see you next week, where I think topic is cryptids.
Yes.
That's fun, right? See you next week.